Hey there, I'm Jen, and welcome to the very first episode of Redefining Her Game. Just take a breath with me for a second. You made it here, and I don't know what brought you. Maybe it was a gut feeling. Maybe you saw the title and thought, yep, that's me. Or maybe you're just curious what this is all about. Whatever the reason, I'm so glad you're here. This podcast, it's not about perfection. It's not about having it all figured out. It's about real talk for women who are tired of performing, pleasing, and pretending, and who are ready to take a second look at their lives and ask, is this really what I want? Because somewhere along the way, a lot of us started playing by rules we never actually agreed to. Be nice, be small, be selfless, be easy to love, be quiet, be grateful. And while we were busy being all of those things, we slowly stopped being ourselves. But something's shifting now. I can feel it. And I think you can too. There's a wave of women waking up, stretching out the stiffness in their lives and whispering, wait, this isn't me anymore. And that whisper, that's powerful. That whisper is how it starts. This podcast is your space to explore the whisper, to sit in the questions, to get a little messy, to laugh, cry, get mad, or feel frickin' fired up. We'll talk about change and growth, identity, confidence, relationships, boundaries, reinvention, and how to come back home to yourself after years or decades of being who everyone else needed you to be. So whether you're a mom of kids who are growing up and suddenly you're wondering what's next, or a woman in your 20s trying to figure out, what do I even want to do in this world? Or you're in your 40s, 50s, and 60s saying, I want more. Or someone who's just feeling the itch that something isn't working anymore, this space right here is for you. Redefining Her Game is about choosing yourself on purpose. It's about rewriting the story, not because the old one was wrong, but because the next chapter deserves your full frickin' voice. We're going to hit the ground running every Monday morning and tackle the week together. Heart first and head high. So grab your coffee or your wine or your walking shoes. You don't need to be anyone but you here. So let's redefine this thing and let's get to it. You ever looked around and think, who even am I anymore? Why am I doing this? Why am I still doing this? It's like one day you wake up and realize you've been running on autopilot. Maybe you've built a life that looks great on the outside. You've got the job, the relationship, the routine, the goddamn to-do list that never ends. But inside, something's off. There's a quiet voice saying, this isn't it. This isn't all of me. And you start to notice little things. Like that spark when someone talks about a dream they're chasing, and you wonder, when did I stop dreaming like that? Or the sting of silence when you're asked, what do you do for fun? And you realize, you're not sure anymore? You start to feel this shift. It's subtle at first, right? Like wearing a favorite sweater that suddenly doesn't fit the same. And listen, this isn't about being ungrateful for what you have. This is about being honest with yourself. Sometimes the life we built based on survival or expectation or what we thought we should want. And when we start to grow, those choices don't always grow with us. So maybe you realize your friend group only connects through complaining, but no one's really celebrating each other. Or maybe your job pays the bills but drains your soul. Anyone? Or you've been showing up for everyone else for so long, you completely forgot to show up for yourself. You're not alone in this. This moment, like this shift, it happens to more women than you think. But we don't talk about it enough. We stuff it down. We smile through it. We say, I'm fine. It's fine. When really we're screaming inside, something has to frickin' change. Let me tell you something. That whisper you feel, that restlessness in your chest, it's not wrong. It's not weakness. That's wisdom. It's your soul saying, I'm still here, don't forget me. So for me, the shift came after years of doing everything I was supposed to, right? The career, the family, the structure. I had checked all the damn boxes. But I felt hollow and like I was disappearing. Not broken, not ruined, just missing. Like I had been editing parts of myself out for years, trying to fit a role I no longer believed in. And I remember thinking, what if this isn't burnout? What if it's an awakening? That's when things started to change. So here's the thing. That moment, it's not the end, although it kind of felt like it. But it's actually the start of a new conversation with yourself. It's the point where you stop asking, what do they want from me? And start asking, what do I want for me? It doesn't have to be big at first. So you don't need to blow up your life overnight. Sometimes the shift begins with something as small as saying no when you always said yes. Or taking a walk without your phone. Or wearing lipstick just because it makes you feel good, not because it's appropriate. Use this as your invitation to get curious, to notice, to listen. To remember that you who dreamed, who felt passionate, who wanted more, she is not gone. She's not gone. She's just waiting. And she's patient. But she's ready when you are. But let's be real. When we start to change, the world doesn't always applaud us. In fact, it often pushes back, right? We've been conditioned to stay consistent, to be easy to love, to be agreeable, to keep the peace, to stay small. We're told that change is unstable, that changing your mind means you could be flaky, you don't know what you're doing. The wanting you more means you're ungrateful. So we resist, right? Even when the old life doesn't fit anymore, we cling to it. We don't want to disappoint people. We don't want to admit we've outgrown things that once meant everything to us. Sometimes we don't even know what we want yet. We just know it's not this. That's a scary freaking place to be. Like I remember feeling so guilty for wanting something different. Like I should just be grateful. Like it was selfish to want more. But here's what I want you to know. Wanting change doesn't mean you're ungrateful. It means you're honest with yourself. I mean, sure, there's grief in letting go of what no longer fits. And yes, it can mean outgrowing relationships, friendships, leaving jobs, stepping into uncertainty, which is, can be risky. But growth involves loss. And still, you deserve to evolve. Letting go of who you were doesn't mean you're losing yourself. It means you're making space to meet who you really are. That's pretty critical, right? I mean, so let me say that again. Letting go of who you were doesn't mean you're losing yourself. It means you're making space to meet who you really are. So what comes next? Well, I find this is where it gets a little messy. Beautiful, messy. So welcome to the rebuild. You start to ask questions again. Not the kind with the right answers, but the kind that lead to discovery. Like, what do I like? What makes me feel alive? What do I believe? Outside of what I was told to believe. You try new things. You change your routine. You might leave a job or go back to school. You might walk into a room with your head a little higher. Or cry in the shower because it's all too much. That's okay too. You might get quiet for a little while. That's okay. Or you might get loud for the first time. You might let go of people who made you feel small because now you're playing bigger. And here's what I want you to hear clearly. Every single step counts. Changing your hair, your career, your boundaries, or just your mind, it all freaking counts. Don't let anyone tell you different. Any little change counts. There is no right way to rebuild. There's just your way. You're allowed to change. You're allowed to become someone new, and you're allowed to take up space. Like, how freaking exciting does that sound? And maybe that new version of you, she's not entirely new. She's just finally free. Finally free. So, if you're in that in between space, no longer who you were, but not quite sure who you're becoming yet, please know this. You're not alone. You're not behind. You're not too late. You're just unfolding. And in this podcast right here, this is where we'll talk about the unfolding. Honestly, bravely, with humor, a lot of heart, but no judgment. You don't need to have it all figured out. You just need to start. That's it. So thanks for spending this time with me in the very first episode of Redefining Her Game. If something in your heart said, yes, that's me, I hope you'll hit the subscribe button and share this episode with a friend who might need it too. And now, your weekly challenge. Guess I forgot to tell you about that at the beginning. This is a challenge we'll come back to again and again. Compliment, connect, repeat. We're turning everyday moments into frickin' magic. So I'm going to ask every week that you drop a compliment on a stranger like it's goddamn confetti. Make her smile. And tag us at Redefining Her Game while you're at it. I want to hear every story and I want to see every smile. We're here to lift each other up. Not just with our words, but with our energy. This is how we start to change the game together. We're building a sisterhood, a community of women that are going to lift each other up so high, you won't even believe it. So I'll see you next Monday.